14. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now it's 7. Many in the 4 states had an opportunity to see the real-life Easter Bunny. Our very own Samantha Walker has more on that story.
Also, Pittsburgh high school students partnered with a few other organizations to help provide some Easter fun for kids.
And we have ourselves an alert day today. Strong to severe thunderstorms looking likely later this afternoon and evening. While we look at the forecast to get you out the door, coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Amber Jenkins.
I'm Chris Warner. Just after 7 o'clock on this Monday morning. It's April Fool's Day. It is, thankfully, we haven't played any pranks on each other
No, not yet. The day that you're starting.
That is true.
Wait until the rest of the staff gets into the newsroom, and I'm sure.
That becomes the concerning part. We're back at one of those days again where I know we have some other folks arriving, but up until about 20 minutes ago, I was the oldest yet least mature person in this building. Always a concern.
Yes, it is. I'm kidding. During the Easter season, people often hope to see the Easter Bunny.
People in the 4 states have gotten a visit from the area's very own real-life version. KOAM Samantha Walker has more.
He's big and fluffy.
If you see a baby carrier being pushed around, it may not have a baby in it. Instead, you might see Willow, a 15-pound Flemish giant bunny, and she has a very important job.
And she's a therapy animal. I take her to nursing homes and hospitals and schools, and she lets everybody pet her and love on her.
Her owner, Sid Melton, adopted her 7 years ago, and she's been a therapy bunny ever since.
She's just so calm and gentle and tolerant of everybody. It was natural for her.
Willow often goes to nursing homes like these to help cheer up people. She's been known to go to nursing homes, local hospitals, and the Joplin Empire Market.
It's good. That's why I take her, is so that she can interact with people and bring joy to them.
And people of all ages find a little bit of joy with Willow.
I like Willow because he's fluffy and soft.
Willow also has a Facebook page called The Adventures of Willow Bunny. She now has more than 500 followers.
Because she's a therapy animal, and I wanted everybody to keep up with her adventures.
Melton says he enjoys getting to share the animal he loves with others.
Very proud of her. You know, God blessed me with a wonderful animal. I need to share her.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
When not hopping around visiting people, Willow loves to play in the yard and sleep in her bunny hutch.
Certainly adorable, and who doesn't love a very large Easter rabbit, or a large rabbit in general?
They're
soft,
cuddly.
they're fluffy, yeah, and when they're cuddly like that, they're very cute. Very cute indeed. Well, we've got some thunderstorm chances as we end the afternoon and evening. Now, the good news is we've allotted some extra time here in a few more minutes to go into detail about what we're expecting. But first, let's get you out the door and get your Monday commute underway. Right now in Joplin, our camera on top of the Cornell complex showing cloudy skies out there and breezy conditions. Winds out of the south, gusting upwards of 25 to 30 miles an hour. MoDOT camera 32nd in range line. Same view, different direction. Cloudy skies out there and breezy, also unseasonably warm. 70 in Joplin right now, 69 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures have been holding relatively steady in the upper 60s to low 70s across the entire area. Now, as we head through the morning, could see an isolated shower or two. In fact, Skywatch Storm Tracker showing a few showers trying to get in around the Tulsa area. We've seen a few of these flare up, kind of fizzle out and flare up. So a couple of stray showers will be possible between now and this afternoon. Then from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., our best window for the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms. Some of these could be significantly severe. We're going to go into detail on all that. There's a lot of variables, lots of scenarios that could potentially play out with tonight's severe weather threat. Again, between now and then, though, a couple isolated showers here and there. Mostly cloudy skies. Our highs today, upper 70s, low 80s out there. And we're going to be dealing with those winds out of the south, gusting upwards of 25 to 30 miles an hour. Again, we're going to go into detail about these thunderstorm chances as we head into this evening, and we'll do that in your full forecast, and that'll be coming up here in just a few more minutes. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation arrested a former Allen County Sheriff deputy for sex crimes. Authorities say 24-year-old Michael Tennyson of Iowa was found with a missing 15-year-old runaway from Hayes. Tennyson has been arrested and the teen was placed in protective custody. Tennyson began working for the sheriff's office back in January, but his employment was terminated when the allegations became known. The roller coaster of temperatures we had this winter is leading to a slim peach harvest. Southwest Missouri orchard owner Wesley Murphy says normally buds would start blooming in mid-April, but this year they started blooming back in February when we had that warm spike and then were killed when the temperatures dropped again this month. Two rows may still produce fruit, but he says 90% of his crops are gone.
Anything during the bloom period, you hit 28 degrees, you're going to start losing about 10% of the buds on the tree. You start getting down to 25 degrees, you're talking about 90% bud loss, and that's kind of where we were. So anything that had an open bloom that night, we lost anything that was open that night.
Murphy says this is the second year in a row that his crops have been damaged and the fourth in 5 years. The orchard also has strawberries, blueberries, and apples, but peaches made up around 40% of his income. Pittsburgh High School students were able to spread some Easter spirit on Saturday. The high school partnered up with New Hope and Pittsburgh area young professionals to stuff Easter eggs for the community. Together, they were able to stuff 18,000 eggs for Saturday's egg hunt. The hunt also included a special appearance from the Easter Bunny.
My favorite part is seeing the kids pick the eggs up and their smiles. Going through that 2 months of stuffing 18,000 eggs, getting all the candy, getting everything organized, and then seeing them just smile and light up, it's wonderful.
Probably finding all the Easter eggs. Krabby Patty gummies.
The event also included 25 golden eggs that, if they were found, you will receive a new bike. And those are our top stories for this half hour. Coming up next, El Paso continues to deal with the surge at the border. We'll have the latest.
$50 for two at watergardens.org/blooms.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, crews continue the complicated and meticulous operation of removing the steel and concrete from the fallen Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. Dive teams were in the river Sunday, surveying parts of the bridge underwater and checking on the ship to ensure it can be safely floated away once the wreckage is lifted. Workers in lifts used torches earlier to cut parts of the twisted steel superstructure above water. Each part of the bridge removed from the water will be lifted onto a barge and floated downstream to the Trade Point Atlantic Logistics Center, where it will be inspected. Pro-Palestinian supporters in New York City marked the 48th anniversary of Land Day by marching in the streets last Saturday. Land Day commemorates the killing of 6 Arab citizens of Jewish state by Israeli security forces back in 1976. The citizens were protesting government land being taken away in northern Israel when they were killed. Many of those in attendance were New York University students who chanted and carried signs calling for a free Palestine in their lifetime. The El Paso sector continues to see a large number of migrants illegally crossing into the U.S. The National Guard troops have been deployed to Texas to help with the surge. Fox News senior correspondent Casey Siegel has more.
It has been a busy holiday weekend out here in the El Paso sector for Border Patrol agents, where we have seen at least 2 large groups illegally crossing into the country. Sunday morning, about 95 migrants, including single adults and family units, came into El Paso from Juarez. They were loaded up in vans and a bus after being processed, while Saturday evening, a large group of roughly 150 in size came right through the same spot, which is gate 36. Most of the action seems to be right there. Once again, a mix of people. This as additional National Guard troops have been deployed to Texas's southern border. A total of 700 have been surged to this one sector alone over the last few weeks. Thousands of troops from at least a dozen other states are now out here on the front lines, including some who just arrived from Indiana.
Hoosiers are proving once again, if the federal government at large can't get their act together on the border, we will.
Over in Eagle Pass Sunday morning, the Fox flight team drone capturing these images about 9 migrants who crossed the Rio Grande and then walked along the shoreline on the U.S. side, right next to the razor wire in Shelby Park. But National Guard troops turned them around, yelling at them in Spanish to go back to the Mexican side and wait there to officially apply for asylum. That's the latest from El Paso, Texas at the southern border. Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
And those were our top stories for Nation Watch. Let's check in with Chris for a quick look at weather.
Yeah, we've got ourselves an alert day today for the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon and evening hours across the area. We are going to be right back with a detailed look at the situation as we head into this evening. And a little later, a woman in New York is doing everything she can to see the solar eclipse on her birthday.
Now at Johnny.
We'll see you at the games. Be part of Missouri Southern softball.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News 7:15, coming up on 7:16 on this Monday morning, April the 1st. We do have some of those showers we were discussing as a possibility this morning. Here are some of them, even a couple of lightning strikes down into parts of Oklahoma out there. Nothing significant with this activity at this time. In fact, as it's kind of rolled off to the north and east, it's kind of flared up, died out, flared up, died out. So we're going to see these showers continue northeasterly into the area. Now, this is one of the many variables in today's severe weather threat. Here's what we're looking at so far. We have an elevated to enhanced risk for tornadoes, hail, and damaging wind gusts out there. However, the bigger concern right now is between the tornado risk and the hail risk, because we have these hatch marks across the entire area for hail and across the enhanced zone for tornadoes. The hatch marks indicate the possibility of very large hail within this zone with the thunderstorms as we head into this afternoon and evening. And the hatch marks on tornado risk unfortunately indicate the possibility of a strong tornado or two within that zone. Now, again, there's a lot of variables going on. Variable number one is happening right now. Showers this morning. If these showers work the atmosphere over, if we get more of them than what's out there now, they could work over the atmosphere a little bit, stabilize it, and reduce our risk for the severe weather, make the significant threat not as significant. We'd still see thunderstorms, but it wouldn't be nearly as intense. If we just see the showers we're seeing now, they don't have that big of an impact, that takes care of scenario one. Scenario number two, around 4 o'clock is when we're expecting this, between 4 and 10 this evening. Scenario number two, we see supercells begin to develop in parts of southeast Kansas. However, they very rapidly grow upscale into a line of strong to severe thunderstorms, shoving off to the east and southeast. If that happens, our tornado and hail risk are still there, but they're much lower, but our wind risk would go up a bit, because we'd get a line of storms with that potential for some Boeing segments in there. That's scenario number two. Scenario number three, which at this point is the most likely scenario, which is where this is coming from, where this expectation is coming from, is that we see supercells develop in parts of Kansas by about 4 o'clock. These will roll off to the east between 4 and 6, and we could see a second round of supercells develop between 6 and 10, and all severe hazards would be possible with those supercells. So there's still a lot of variables, a lot to keep an eye on over the next several hours. But it is something you want to keep a very close eye on, because if scenario three, which is the likely one at this point, does play out, we're looking at the potential for some fairly significant severe weather by this evening. So here we are at 5, Starting to see some supercells developing in southeastern Kansas. Now, again, the future track right now is running off of scenario number 2, where we have that possibility that the storms merge into a complex. And if that's the case, some bowing segments would be possible, and that'll shift the threat from tornadoes and large hail into damaging wind gusts as this rolls on through. But if scenario number 3 continues to be the dominant one, then we'll see additional supercell development back behind the first round of supercells. As we head into our Tuesday, we'll have a few isolated showers here and there between about 5 a.m. and 1 p.m. We're going to be much cooler behind the system as well. The low pressure system out of here, and we're on the backside of it where those winds are going to be out in the northwest. Still a bit gusty, but making us much cooler. So again, alert day today. South winds gusting upwards of 30. Severe thunderstorms appear likely at this point between 4 and 10 p.m. Highs upper 70s, low 80s, into the 50s Tuesday and Wednesday. Still breezy. We'll warm back up heading into this weekend, and we'll see additional rain chances by next week. That's checking your forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
iHeartRadio Music Awards tonight, live on Fox.
Well, the countdown begins for the total solar eclipse that will be seen over several cities in the United States come April the 8th.
But a northern New York woman is gearing up for what she calls a momentous occasion in more ways than one. Benny Neja has her story.
She does pretty good.
Dot Pelkey is originally from Altona and used to be a Georgia Pacific employee in Plattsburgh. But for the last 11 years, she's been a retired resident at Watson Memorial Senior Housing in Moores. And at 101 years old, she's still very active, going on daily walks and socializing with her fellow neighbors.
I get along with all of them. I can tell them all sometimes, but I get along with them. I think. Yeah, I love them all. They're all so good to me.
Dot will be celebrating her 102nd birthday on April 8th, the same day as the total solar eclipse, and she can hardly wait.
I'm anxious. That's why I want to live to see it. I didn't want to live to my birthday. I wanted to live to see this. And I guess I'll make it. It's not too far away.
But it won't be her first time experiencing the phenomenon. She remembers the last time something like this happened back in 1932.
It wasn't a complete. This is going to be a complete one. The other one had a little bit. I wasn't very old, so. But I remember talking about it more than anything.
And everyone at the retirement home is thrilled for the eclipse and her birthday to coincide.
It's especially important for somebody who's going to be turning 102 on that day, you know, so it just seems very symbolic of the times.
No.
And Dot is determined to see it.
It's one thing of a lifetime. You know, you don't see that very often, so I'm trying to be here to see it.
Well, a total solar eclipse will be seen from parts of Mexico all the way to the upper East Coast. And of course, we're going to have our own eclipse celebration or solar. I am so sorry. I cannot remember right off the top of my head right now what we're calling it, but we're having it. We're going to have one. We're going to be down at the Creative Learning Alliance, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that as well.
It is very exciting.
It is, and the second one I've been able to cover here just since I've been here, so lots of excitement.
Well, coming up on KOAM Samantha Walker shows us how excited residents in Neosho were for Easter.
And we have an alert day today for strong, potentially severe thunderstorms later this evening across the area. We're going to have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Said this is the day you die, and he shot me.
48 hours today at 9, right here on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27 and I'm Amber Jenkins. Easter Day means Easter egg hunts all across the 4 states. Carthage First Baptist Church held their annual Easter egg hunt for kids in the 5th grade and younger. Collection bags were provided to all of those kids who attended. Liberty Baptist Church also held its annual Easter egg hunt. Kids 12 and younger were able to participate, and the church also encouraged all those who attended to join them for the morning service.
We have our community Easter egg hunt here in Central Park. We always have several hundred people show up for it. We're going to keep doing it as long as people will keep showing up for it. And you know, the whole reason why we do this, the kids being able to hunt Easter eggs is fun.
Well, the feedback I'm getting is that everybody loves it. It's become huge over the past few years, and we're just trying to make it big and bigger. And it's just, I mean, community. We're trying to get people together to get to know each other.
Organizers say they hope everyone had a happy Easter and enjoy all that Easter candy. Shoal Creek held its very first kayak Easter egg hunt yesterday. The only thing required was to bring a kayak. Those who attended got to spend the entire day out on the water. Organizers say it's a cool and different spin on an Easter tradition.
We always just try to do fun events that people can come out, enjoy being outside with their family, and this was something that ties into what we're doing out here, kayaking, being on the creek. So it was a random idea, we thought, and we're like, I don't know if anyone else has ever done this before. So,
well, we love kayaking, and we're trying to introduce our son, he's 4 years old, to kayaking as well, and another Easter egg hunt, and you get prizes.
17 kayakers participated in yesterday's event. The WH Farm Cafe Saturday held its annual craft show in Granby, Missouri. The event featured handcrafted pieces as well as various boutiques throughout the community. Some of the pieces included rings, leather bags, and laser engraved wooden signs.
It helps me learn how to run a small business, financials, learning how to make sure I'm bookkeeping. This kind of stuff helps me get out there and really learn how to hustle, how to set up, how to take down, how to interact with customers, so that when I do open up a storefront or something, then I'll have some practice with interacting with people as well.
Saturday's show began at 9 a.m. and wrapped up around 4 in the afternoon. Some Pitt State graduate students spent their Saturday with dogs from the SCK Humane Society. Students helped train the dogs and hope that they'll get adopted. So far, the students have worked with more than 15 dogs since January.
I know a lot of people, they'll see like an older dog and they'll think, oh, you can't train that dog, but we'll have like dogs over a year old be trained here, and we see progress with that. So I say like any dog can be trained no matter the age. It's really nice to see the dogs get socialized and trained, because it gets some energy out and some outside time, because animals have kennel stress, so it's good for them to be getting out and socialized.
The students are a part of PSU's psychology department.
And we do have an alert day today, keeping an eye on the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms across the area as we head this afternoon and this evening. We're going to go into detail about all of that and the scenarios and every other possible aspect of these thunderstorm chances this evening here in your full forecast. And that's going to take place in just a few more moments. But for those of you just needing to get out the door real quick or get the last preparations ready, we're going to take care of that for you real quick. Our camera, Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. It is cloudy, it is breezy, it is mild. Same from MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line as well in Joplin. 70 degrees in Pittsburgh right now, 69 in Pittsburgh. And as we look at temperatures around the region, again, well above where they should be. Upper 60s and low 70s out there, holding relatively steady for the most part. Now, as we get our morning underway, some showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms will be possible as we go through the morning, early afternoon out there. Then by 4 o'clock, from 4 to 10 p.m., that's going to be our best window for those strong, potentially severe thunderstorms out there, and the possibility of all severe hazards. That includes damaging winds, large hail, and we do have that threat for a tornado threat out there as well. So we're going to keep an eye on that. We're going to go into detail on that here in just a few minutes. But for now, we're looking at upper 70s, low 80s, mostly cloudy. Again, south winds gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour, and we'll have those isolated showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms between now and then. And those couple of thunderstorms, though, are just part of why we're going to go into detail on this. They could have a significant impact on exactly what we see as we head into the evening hours across the area. We'll have more on that severe threat in your full forecast, and that'll be coming up here in just a few more minutes. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. Hundreds of people gather in Neosho Saturday to celebrate Easter together. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on what had families so excited.
Morris Park in Neosho was filled with families ready to celebrate Easter at the 9th annual extravaganza. The event is a partnership between several local churches and the city of Neosho.
We had a great turnout last year of like 750 children plus their families. Lots and lots of activities. It's like a mini festival.
Organizers say the egg extravaganza is something people in the community look forward to every year. With more than 120 volunteers, they try to have a variety of activities to appeal to children of all ages.
There's 16 exhibitors with all kinds of snacks and goodies and everything for the families to enjoy. We have the law enforcement and safety here for the children to break down barriers and explore. We have puppets, we have drama presentations. It's just a full day of everything.
Kids at the extravaganza were able to hawk to different stations, including games, an egg hunt, and even meeting the Easter Bunny.
So we're having Easter, picking out eggs, and there's lots of things we could do. Get plushies, win games, lots of things.
He says he likes how the event brings people together.
Because they can spend some time with friends and family too.
Organizers say the event, which featured more than 8,000 eggs, was made possible from donations from Neosho Walmart and Opal Foods.
This just shows the value that we all place on our community and that we take care of each other, we take care of our children, we invest in our children, and we just love our Neosho. We love it.
They did a very great job. A very great job.
Reporting in Neosho, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. It's been over 30 years since the D.B. Cooper hijacking. New evidence may show and now change the case to closed. We'll hear more of the details.
It's always not. During Chevy truck season, get as low as 0.9% financing in all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
In Consumer Watch this morning, change is coming to California. After a new law kicks in today, most fast food workers will be paid at least $20 an hour. The state new law passed last year. One woman says working in the industry was her full-time job after immigrating to America, saying, quote, "The $20 raise is great. I wish it would have come sooner." However, not everyone is happy about this new law. One owner says the wage increase is just one more thing he'll have to battle with in the state's slowing economy. A new survey points to new risks taken by homeowners in order to get their dream home. A bank rate survey says almost 10% of homeowners took money out of their 401k or other retirement plans in order to secure a new home. Financial experts warn against such moves because of future loss of invested money grown over time and taxes taken by the government when the money is removed. A new survey data shows the top college majors where graduates can make $100K midway through their career. According to a new Business Insider report, an analysis of the 2022 American Communities Survey data by the New York Federal Reserve, out of 14 different majors they analyzed, 9 of the 14 were related to engineering. The other 5 majors had a median wage of $100K midway through graduate career, included computer science, finance, economics, construction services, and business analytics. Protect your private information now. That's the advice from experts after a massive AT&T data breach announced over the weekend. The company says it's the process of notifying affected customers, but experts say it might be worth looking into the hack, even if you haven't heard from the company yet. Amy Kelly reports on their advice.
This is quite a serious issue.
Experts say past and present AT&T users should act now to protect their data. The company says it's investigating how information from 73 million customers got onto the dark web. AT&T says it's now notifying those affected.
If you get a letter like that in the mail from someone that you have entered into a contract with, you need to take time to read the letter.
If you're not notified, just don't assume automatically that you're safe. You need to investigate this.
The breach appears to involve data from 2019 or earlier. It could include names, passwords, social security numbers, birth dates, and more.
Once a bad guy has that, a criminal has that information, perhaps they could pose as you and call up one of your bank accounts or health accounts.
This former NSA general counsel says if you think you've been hacked, 1. Reset your password. 2. Ask a credit reporting agency to put a fraud alert on your account. 3. Consider a credit freeze to block someone from opening a credit card in your name.
Any hacker who is both skilled enough and lucky enough to get inside a telecom company is going to find a digital treasure chest.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And those are our top stories for Consumer Watch this morning. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Get ready for an off-road adventure with the Mud and Money UTV giveaway at circus.com. We'll see you there.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:43 now on this Monday, April the 1st. So, we're talking about what's developing out there. Take a look. We've now got a decent little complex of showers and thunderstorms just entering parts of our viewing area and starting to cross into southeastern Kansas. Nothing severe, nothing strong, but this is one of 3 possible variables that could impact our severe weather chances as we head later into the afternoon and evening hours across the area. So you can see this complex really getting going as it's gotten up into our area. Now, if this works the atmosphere over as it rolls across the area this morning, our severe risk is going to drop dramatically as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. That is if it works it over. If the atmosphere recovers enough behind what we're expected to get here this morning, then our severe risk is virtually unchanged. So let's talk about what we are looking at right now, but is again subject to change as the morning progresses. In fact, over the weekend alone, just yesterday, we went from having higher end severe threats across the area, including tornado risks, then it was greatly reduced, and overnight, it was brought back up again to these enhanced levels. So there's going to be changes, and we're going to continue monitoring. But as it stands now, we have an elevated to enhanced risk for tornadoes, damaging hail, and damaging wind gusts. And then these hash marks, these black marks across the entire area for hail and across the enhanced zone for the tornadoes indicates that this time the possibility of very large, or as the Storm Prediction Center said this morning, giant hail across the parts of the area. And as we head into the afternoon and evening, at least right now, there is that possibility of a strong tornado or two, especially within the hatch-marked areas in the enhanced zone on the map. Now, this is actually due to update right as the KOAM Morning News wraps up. So we're going to keep an eye on this, and it'll update again as we go through the day. But we're going to keep a close eye on all of this because, again, the thunderstorms that are out there right now could have an impact on what we see later today because they were not showing up on any of the forecast models. So we got to see what these thunderstorms do and how they impact our atmosphere. Now, right now, the expectation is we're going to have the supercells begin to develop after 4 p.m. across southeastern Kansas. They're going to intensify pretty quickly. Scenario 1, the first round of supercells rolls through the area between 4 and 6, and we could see additional supercell development between 6 and 10. Scenario 2 is this one right here, where the first round of supercells congeal into a line of severe thunderstorms, and therefore the tornado and hail risk come down a bit, but our wind risk goes up as we could see some bowing segments as this rolls on through. And then this will push through all of the activity, though the one consistency is out of here by about 10 o'clock. Then we're left with just a few isolated showers overnight and into the first part of our Tuesday out there as we get to be considerably cooler on the backside of this front for our Tuesday as well. So it's a lot of variables that we've got to keep an eye on. And this morning's thunderstorms getting ready to roll into the area are one of the many variables that could have an impact on what we see later today. All right, as of now, alert day for today. Those severe thunderstorms later today. Otherwise, scattered showers and storms between now and 4. Winds gusting out of the south at around 30 miles an hour. Highs upper 70s, low 80s. We're going to go into the 50s for our Tuesday. Breezy Tuesday and Wednesday. Upper 50s on Wednesday. And we'll start to warm back up as we head into the weekend. And then we'll see additional chances for some showers and thunderstorms as we head into next week. So again, a lot to keep an eye on. And of course, we'll be right here, the Skywatch Weather Center, keeping an eye on it for you. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Welcome to Miss Daisy's, where style meets...
Next, Tamron Hall. Tamron Hall, this morning at 10, right here on Fox 14.
More than 50 years ago, a man hijacked a plane demanding money and a parachute, but later he jumped from the plane and was never seen again.
It's the only unsolved airline hijacking in U.S. history. Fox News senior correspondent Eric Shawn looks into where and who the suspect might be.
The legend of D.B. Cooper began in the dark skies of Thanksgiving Eve, November 24, 1971. A 40-something passenger with a briefcase that he claimed contained a bomb hijacked Northwest Airlines Flight 305 from Portland to Seattle. He demanded $200,000 and a parachute, and somewhere over southwest Washington state ordered the plane's rear stairs to be opened, and he jumped out, forever disappearing into the Northwest night. Former FBI agent Larry Carr was in charge of the case.
This story is filled with so many characters. The book's been written, except for the last chapter. And I want to know that last chapter just like everybody else.
In 1980, some of the money was found along the banks of the Columbia River, north of Portland. But authorities do not know if D.B. Cooper survived. While various men have been named as possible suspects through the years, the latest is from Cooper researcher Eric Ulis.
My opinion is if it wasn't Vince Peterson, then D.B. Cooper was a complete unknown.
Vince Peterson was a researcher at Crucible Steel in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at the time, the only place in the nation that made extremely rare titanium metal alloys. It turns out that tiny fragments of those very alloys were found on the tie D.B. Cooper left behind on the plane.
Unless somebody can come up with a rational explanation for how these three very unique, very rare particles ended up on D.B. Cooper's tie, I think it's reasonable to deduce that the man himself actually worked at that titanium research lab.
Peterson was 82 when he died in 2002, but the mystery may have died with D.B. Cooper.
The totality of the evidence, the fact that no one's been caught, leads me to believe he died the night he jumped.
The FBI says after its 45-year-long exhaustive investigation, the case is no longer active. But the Bureau says if new specific physical evidence does emerge, it will continue to try and unmask the mystery of D.B. Cooper. In New York, Eric Shawn, Fox News.
Absolutely incredible mystery.
Yes, I love a good mystery, and I've been just obsessed with the D.B. Cooper hijacking story since I was a teenager, and it's just crazy. He jumped out in the middle of the night and he was in the wilderness, have all that money, but it just disappeared.
It is very bizarre. Something tells me he's got to be out there somewhere. Or at least he was. I believe he probably survived. The question is whether he's... Exactly. Well, speaking of weather, we've got some showers and thunderstorms starting to roll into the area right now into parts of Oklahoma and into southeastern Kansas. Lots of lightning with this activity, as you can see on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, but nothing strong or severe. Now, as I mentioned, the new outlook for today's severe weather threat was due out at about 8 a.m. Well, it's already come out, and it has not been changed. So at this point, they're not anticipating any of this activity to have a significant impact on our risk for strong to severe thunderstorms later this afternoon and evening, which we're still at this point looking at between 4 and 10 p.m. So this, again, did not change for us. The severe threat was expanded a little further east into Ohio and Kentucky, but outside of that, still have the enhanced risk for tornadoes, hail, and wind across the area. We could see very large hail, and we could potentially see a strong tornado or two. We're going to now look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
We are proud to salute Danny Moss, a four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines and news you need to know before you head out the door. The KBI arrested a former Allen County Sheriff deputy for sex crimes. Authorities say 24-year-old Michael Tennyson of Iowa was found with a missing 15-year-old runaway from Hayes. Tennyson was arrested and the teen was placed in protective custody. Pittsburgh high school students partner up with New Hope and Pittsburgh area young professionals to stuff Easter eggs for the community. Together, they were able to stuff 18,000 eggs for Saturday's egg hunt. The event also included 25 golden eggs, and if you found one of them, you will receive a new bike. Crews continue the complicated operation of removing the steel and concrete from the fallen Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. Dive teams were in the river Sunday, surveying parts of the bridge underwater and checking on the ship to ensure that it will be safely floated away once the wreckage is lifted. Each part of the bridge removed from the water will be lifted onto a barge and floated downstream where it will be inspected.
All right, showers and thunderstorms developing across parts of Oklahoma into Kansas. Lots of lightning, no severe weather with this activity. More showers and storms expected. We do have an alert day today as we have an enhanced risk for tornadoes. Some of those a couple of strong tornadoes rather, may be possible this afternoon and evening. Same with hail. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center is still saying significant to giant hail is possible within this zone. So we're talking 3-4-inch in diameter hail and damaging wind gusts as well across the area. So something we're going to be keeping a close eye on as this severe threat looks to ramp up between 4 and 10 across the area today. So upper 70s, low 80s today. Behind the front, we're cooler Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll warm up toward the weekend. More showers and storms by next week.
Sheriff deputies in California surprised motorists with Easter gifts on Good Friday. Body cam footage shows one deputy handing gifts to 2 unwitting drivers after pulling them over for a traffic stop.
When asked why they were pulled over, deputy said, "Yeah, it's Easter weekend. We have what's called Operation Easter. I've got some stuff in the back of the truck for you guys and your kids." Last year, Sheriff's Office was able to feed 50 families throughout the county. Certainly an impressive project. And again, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on these thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon and evening. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Nice. And have a great morning and have an even better day for States.